The 50-cent decision. How you doing, everybody? I am Scott Jelnick with the Master Investor Academy, where we cover the 5 pillars of real estate investing. That's marketing, wholesale, rehab, rentals, and raising private money. And today I wanted to do a short video for you on the 50-cent decision. So let me tell you exactly what the 50-cent decision is. So this revolves around, some people call it dog hunting. I call it dog hunting. Some people call it driving for dollars, where you pick a target neighborhood, you drive around, you look for the distressed property in the neighborhood. You can always tell it by tarps on the roof, cars on blocks, newspapers piled up, mail sticking out of the box, the shrubs are grown over the windows. Just a generally ugly house on the block, right? You can always tell the ugly houses on the block. So anyway, when we find these houses, the dogs that we're hunting for, we typically do 2 things. The first thing that we do is I use a sticky note that looks like a UPS notice that while we're already there, I'll stick it on the door, which says a bunch of stuff. We'll save that for another video, basically, that we're looking to buy houses in this area, yada, yada, yada. The second thing that we do is while we're there, we write down the property address. Then we go back, when we're back at our office or back at our house, we would pull up the tax data so that we know the mailing address for the owner. Because we don't just want to mail a letter to the house if in fact it's a rental or if it's vacant. We want to mail it to where the owner lives, and generally the tax bill goes to wherever the owner lives. So we research where the owner lives and then we send them a letter. Same type of thing, that you're interested in purchasing their home. Well, the 50-cent decision comes in as to where there is something that is not quite right. So typically when we pull the tax data, what we're looking for is we're also looking at their mortgage information, and we're trying to find out if they have the ability to sell. So if it's worth 200 grand and they owe 200 grand, we don't have to mail them a letter because they can't sell to us anyway. If it's worth 200 grand and they owe 100 grand, we mail them the letter. Pretty cut and dry, not too complicated. However, sometimes there'll be some confusing issues with the house. It could be a deed of gift, it could be multiple heirs, it could be in probate, something going on with it. Everything on it looks good, but we can't tell how much they owe, or we're not sure if this mortgage was paid off, or they have another one, or was this a refi. You just can't tell what the situation is. Well, I have 2 or 3 of my coaching clients who are doing really well with doing dog hunting. And one of them is actually primarily only doing dog hunting and getting phenomenal results. And a couple questions have come up with these 3 or 4 different people I have doing this that sparked me to think of the 50-cent question, which is why I was originally deciding to make this video. So what the 50-cent question is, when you get back to your office and you're doing the research and you're looking it up, okay, 123 Main Street, you see, okay, they owe 100 grand, it's worth it, let's mail them a letter. You just decided you're going to spend 50 cents and gamble to mail them a letter. The 50-cent decision is when it's confusing, it doesn't make sense, you can't tell who owns it, did they pay off this mortgage, was it a refi, you have no clue. Well, now you end up digging deeper and deeper, and you spend 5 minutes and 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and then sometimes, not you guys, but with my coaching clients, they'll even email me or text me and say, hey, can you research this house? I'm trying to determine the amount they owe or the value so I can decide whether or not I should send a letter. And all I hear is, you want me to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes so you can decide whether or not you want to spend 50 cents. Not only me, but you and them themselves spending 5, 10, 15 minutes to decide whether or not they should spend 50 cents. I hope this makes sense to you. That's why I'm trying to speak very clearly here. A 50-cent decision does not need to take more than 30 seconds. When you pull in, you search it out, it makes sense, you send it. If it doesn't make sense, you don't send it. If you're confused or it's not cut and dry, send the letter. Spend the 50 cents. If you were wrong 100 times throughout the year, you've spent $50. $50. We don't need to be spending hours of our time worrying about trying to save 50 cents. If you were wrong 1,000 times over the course of a year, 1,000 times, which is not going to happen, you'd be unlikely to even send 1,000 letters, except for a couple people I have that are doing this as their full-time gig. You're unlikely to even send 1,000 letters, but if you were to be wrong 1,000 times over the course of a year, you've spent $500. The point I'm getting to is these numbers are so insignificant, they are so insignificant that it is just not worth it for you to be going through all of the time and energy trying to just save 50 cents. That's all I wanted to share for you on this video, the 50-cent decision. If you get into the crossroads, if you get caught with it, do not hesitate, stick a stamp on it and send it out there. Risk the 50 cents. It's better than risking 15 minutes of your time. I hope that makes sense to you. Your time is your most valuable asset. If you can get it back for 50 cents, spend the 50 cents. Hope this helps you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, go ahead, subscribe to this channel and hit like on it, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.